how do you run a semi-private personal training session? And more importantly, how do you think about the programming? This is one of the most common questions we get from trainers after we've helped them build a really solid one-to-one business that's generating good revenue, and now they're looking to switch model and scale their business in different ways. Hi, I'm Matt Robinson from the Profit Podcast, and we help personal trainers build solid businesses that scale far beyond what they can achieve in a one-to-one personal training business. In our latest episode on the Profit Podcast, I talked about the considerations and the actual logistics around planning a semi-private session and what that involves. In this short video, I'm going to give you a little taster of what we went through in that episode, but for full details, follow one of the links down below to get access to that full episode. When it comes to programming and running a semi-private group session, our belief is that it's not too dissimilar to a one-to-one PT session. Fundamentally, we're looking to get our clients do some of the basic foundational movements just in their own individual way. So across a session, we want to make sure we're hitting these key movement patterns. We want to make sure that we're getting them to squat, lunge, hinge, push, pull, carry, and brace. We also want to make sure there's some sort of conditioning element in there as well, where we're taxing the cardiovascular system. So once you start to consider those 8 key areas, you can then start to think about, well, how would each individual achieve that movement? What would their version of that movement look like if we were going to be pushing them in the way that's suitable for them? Logistically, what this generally means is that you will set up a group of movements together based on the number of people in your group. So if you're training a group of 3 people, we'd do 3 movements at a time. If you're doing a group of 4, you'd maybe do 4. That's just because we want to try and keep everyone moving and everyone working at the same time. We don't want a few people working and a few people resting. We want everyone working hard together. So let's take the example of a group of 4 people. What might that look like? You might set up 4 stations, and we've got station 1 is a squat movement, station 2 is a push movement, station 3 is a hinge movement, station 4 is a pull movement. And each person knows what version of the movement they need to do when they reach that station. They're going to work on their movement, they're going to have a rep range to work towards, and they're going to know what weight they're using, and then they're going to move on to the next one so that everyone's moving at a similar time. Your job as the coach is to work the floor and stay on top of everyone in terms of keeping an eye on technique, making sure that they're controlling the movement properly, and just giving them any little bit of feedback or positivity along the way to make sure that they feel like they're doing the right thing. We would then do that and give them a rest period once they've completed all 4 movements before repeating that again for a total of 3 times. Once that initial block of 4 movements has been completed, we then might do another block of 4 using the other 4 movement patterns that we've not yet covered. That then means that we've covered all bases across the session. Finally, to finish off the session, we want to do something that's a bit varied and a bit fun at the end. This might be where we get them competing against one another or working together. This might be where we move them to a different area of the gym and get them trying things they've not done before. We might get them using battle ropes. We might get them on a sled. We might get them slamming things, throwing things. It just depends on the individuals and obviously the facility you're working in. But this is the part of the session where we can have a lot of creativity and a lot of variety each and every session. I hope that short walkthrough gives you an increased level of confidence in regards to how simple programming semi-private personal training can actually be. Doesn't have to be complicated. It is slightly more difficult logistically, especially depending on the facility that you're in, but it is possible and it is quite simple at the heart of it. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or my co-host by using one of the details below. There's links below this video in the description. And until next time, we wish you all the best of success in building your fitness business, and feel free to reach out for any help and any advice. Until next time, we hope you listen to the Profit Podcast. Make sure you subscribe while you're there.